What is going on, family? So we are on. Let me get this guy loaded up. In fact, let's see. We might bring this up a little bit before I start talking. Okay, let me see if I can get this guy to focus on me. Focusing on me. Okay. We are on day. I thought I had this memorized. I'm sorry. Day 48 with Jesus, day 48 of freedom, and day 39 of 75 hard. And we are in motion with 75 hard, of course. Let's see. Right here. Boom. You already know. But yeah, we're moving. We got motion. And we're on Luke 18. And right off the rip, it says the parable of the persistent widow. One day Jesus told his disciples a story to show that they should always pray and never give up. I can't even tell you how much I push that never give up around my household. And what's so crazy is just the fact that like seeing this right now in this current time, because I'm gonna tell you right now, boy, there is a storm brewing my way. And I realistically, what gets me is like, it's not so much that causes worry or causes like fear. And I know I've been talking to you guys about like, hey, we're about to battle some things. What's so crazy, the things that we're about to battle got bigger, you know? And my wife sent me a message on Facebook and I didn't even see it. So she actually told me what the message said, because I don't really check messages on Facebook too much. But she was just like, you know, it said, as your blessings get closer, man, wait, let me see. As a matter of fact, let me go look at it, because I'm over here tripping. I gotta step off the darn thing if I don't connect it. But she said, when your blessings are getting closer, your attacks become greater. That really resonated with me. Not only the fact of like what we're going through as a family, but what I'm going through as just a father, a man. And then through Bible study, there were so many things that I spoke about with Bible study, because I told them the stuff. You know, I got this men's Bible study that basically it's like, I go to this church called City Light, and what's so wild is like I go to this church called City Light, and the crazy thing that gets me is the fact that they have these things called groups where, like, you know, every like certain, I guess you say, quarter out the year, or maybe like 2 quarters out of the year, they'll actually have these groups where you can go be a part of like a men's group, and y'all might play basketball, y'all might go running, y'all might go, I mean, I don't know if we do hunting. I don't know if I feel like back where I'm from, we would do hunting, but like, they have these groups. And the thing about it is like, I remember I joined a men's group with D. Witters, and when I joined his group, I don't think I showed up to the first session I go to. I think I missed like almost every one, I think, the first one, if I'm correct. And finally I joined again, and then I was like, I gotta go to this one, right? So I went one time, loved it, boom. Went to another one, and then the last one I went to, it's like, it's wild how it happened, because the last one I went to started to a thing now where D opened up an area that he cuts hair, and we have it every Saturday. So something that was supposed to happen for like 4 weeks has now been going on for like, I think, a year or two. And it's like literally, we go every Saturday at 7 o'clock. We're there for like 2 hours. It's all men. We all talk about, you know, the struggles and things, but we also give God the glory, and just try to, you know, overflow in each other. And as I was going through this stuff that I was going through and that I'm going through now, you know, I share my story. I reach out to them in a group, because we have a group as well, and I reach out to the group and we talk, and I ask for prayers here and there. And like, you know, I was put on the spot today. We were talking and everything, and like, you know, I shared my story. It's like, you know, I ain't got no shame in anything, and I don't really want to share the story yet as far as like live. You know, I just want to I want to share it when the time's right, and I don't feel like, you know, the time's right now. I just feel like, you know, and I know that time will come eventually where I'm going to talk about it more. So just remember this day, October 18th, 2025, because I'm going to rewind it back to this and say, y'all remember whenever I said I wanted to share this? It's going to eventually come out, because now I'm slowly coming out talking about like the molestation and the trauma and the certain things that I deal with throughout life as a child. It's like all that stuff's coming out too. So the rest of this is going to come out too, because it's building up the testimony throughout life. You know, I'm not running from anything, and I'm not afraid to speak on it. I just feel like, you know, right now the time's not right. But it's just being in this group of men, we spoke about a lot of things. And whenever we spoke today, they spoke, a lot of them just overflowed into me, started reading scriptures and stuff and trying to help me understand, you know, the things we go through. Because even though whenever something's going wrong, you know, we got to realize that things go wrong in life to go right. So in order for it to go wrong, it's got to go. In order for it to go right, it has to go wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we have to get redirected. Sometimes the detour still leads us to the destination, but we need that detour. Because tell you the truth, even though you think it's a detour, when reality happens, it's like, you have to understand, going straight to the destination, sometimes you're finna hit something crazier than this detour that you're like, oh my God, we gotta go to this detour. It's gonna be like 30 minutes out the way, or 30 months out the way, or 30 days out the way. But that detour happens for a reason, because you don't know what was going to happen if you would have just kept straight going to wherever you're trying to get to, straight, fast, in a hurry. You never know what's going to happen. For instance, like if you're going to work and there's a detour that's going to make you late, it's 15 minutes. The next thing you know, you get to work and you're so mad, you're so upset. You're like, man, why did you take me on this detour? Why'd you make me late? Now I got rode up. Now I'm in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Yada, 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 this, that, and the other. You get home, flick on the news. That road you were supposed to take, there's a huge accident. A couple lives were took. Around that exact time, you had to take that detour. Eye opener. You have to understand, detours happen for a reason. Just like I gotta understand the things that I'm going through is a detour to where I thought I was going to. I don't understand it now, but eventually I will. So it's like, talking to them and understanding certain things, you know, and even a brother there was just telling me, like, you know, when planting seeds, no matter what is planted, it shall grow, good or bad, comes to light. And that was another thing that hit. And I was like, man, they were just all spitting all this game to me and all this knowledge to me and understand certain things. And like, I was just over here like writing down notes, taking notes, man, you know. And it was just one of them. It was awesome, because, you know, being in a low spirit and being in a low energy in general, to be able to step into a room that just, like, you know, they take you and lift you up so high that where I stand now, I'm getting goosebumps saying it, like, you know, no worry, no fear, no stress, still wondering. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to understand, you know, like, you know, like what I'm trying to learn from this situation, certain things I'm going through. But 10 toes down on God and still moving. So the parable of the persistent widow, and that was just something that just happened just this morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like just something just happened this morning. So, but one day Jesus told the disciple a story to show that they should always pray and never give up. And like I say, I always told my kids and everybody in my household, you know, that's one thing we go by, we live by, never give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I was to give up at where I'm standing, what example of a father would I be? What example of a husband would I be? What example would I be when I look in the mirror at myself? So how can I give up? If I preach it, but also read the first scripture of something that's saying never give up. There was a judge in a certain city, he said, who neither feared God nor cared about people. A widow of that city came to him repeatedly saying, give me justice in the dispute with my enemy. The judge ignored her for a while, but finally said to himself, I don't fear God or care about people, but this woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice because she is wearing me out with her constant request. Then the Lord said, learn a lesson from this unjust judge. Even he rendered a decision in the end. So don't you think God will surely give justice to the chosen people who cry out to him day and night? He will keep putting them off. I tell you, he will grant justice to them quickly. But when the Son of Man returns, how many, oh my bad, when the Son of Man returns, how many he will find on earth who have faith. Faith has got me and my family so far through life, because it's like, I always say, you know, like we picked up one day, moved halfway across the country from Georgia all the way to Las Vegas. I traded a truck that I had, you know, and I got my wife a car. And this car we had for like a week, Honda Civic, if you know, you know. We had it for a week and knew nothing really about it. Just took the guy's word that, hey, well, you know, it's got a different motor in it and it drove fine. I drove it from North Carolina, I believe, all the way to Georgia. It drove fine, no issue, no problem, boom, you know, and jumped in that car, 26-foot U-Haul, pulled the Lexus, and drove all the way cross country 3 days. Not a single flat tire, not a single problem, not one problem at all. You can't tell me that ain't God. You know, people drive across. You know how people drive across town and tire goes flat, engine runs hot, this goes out, that goes out. We drove cross country, not a single problem. To God be the glory, and you know that just lets you know when you're on the way to something that's meant to be, there won't be any destinations. I mean, there won't be any detours. You're gonna get there. That's why sometimes, like I said at the beginning of this video, when you're not getting there as fast as you want to and there's detours, that's because there's a certain time for you to be there, or there's a certain place you need to be detoured to go to. So accept it at times. Accept the detours. Accept the time of it going really slow and not as fast as you want it to. It's all for a reason, and it's all for His reason, as well as yours, even though you don't think it would be. It's all for your reasons too, because you don't need to go to something so fast that you ain't even ready to receive yet. But, you know, and it says, Jesus blessed the children. One day some parents brought their little children to Jesus so He could touch and bless them. But when the disciples saw this, they scolded the parents for bothering Him. Then Jesus called for the children and said to the disciples, let the children come to me. Don't stop them, for the kingdom of God belongs to those who are like these children. I tell you the truth, anyone who doesn't receive the kingdom of God like a child would never enter it. A child, whenever they're born, they don't have any goals. As their kids, they don't have anything that they're shooting for. They ain't trying to like build this wealth or build that wealth. You know what I mean? The child is just happy to wake up, happy for a bowl of cereal, happy for that little toy, that little Hot Wheels car, happy to be able to sit with their dad and just watch what their dad's doing while he's working on a car. They're not worried about anything else. That's the thing. I feel like that's what He's trying to say out of that. Have the faith of a kid where you're just happy to get up. You're happy to be born, happy to be able to walk and run and take a twig and hit mom with it. You know what I'm saying? Like the littlest things, the joy in the littlest things, I feel like should bring us like happiness forever. The joy in the little thing, I feel like should bring us happiness forever. Be a kid with faith. Be a kid with faith for sure. A lot of these things are hidden definitely at this current moment in life, because we get caught up in the grind. We get caught up in like the hustle, you know? And as I was going through these stuff, you know, and I wrote it, and I had a buddy also that sent a message to us that said, I think this one would really relate to what you're going through and relate to you in general. And it said ambition versus obedience. And when he sent it to me and I read it, if you want to know the truth, bro, let me see. Where's it at? It says there's a fine line between ambition and obedience. Ambition says, look what I can do. Obedience says, tell me what you want me to do. Ambition prays for blessings. Obedience prays for clarity. Ambition moves fast. Obedience moves only when God says go. I got so upset at this dude when he sent this, because I was like, man, and then boom, as soon as I did, I said, bro, ego tripping like crazy. Ego tripping, bro. Like, think about it. Like, I let my ego get the best of me just like that. Why was I getting mad whenever a brother was trying to help me understand what I'm going through? Why was I trying to sit here and get upset and like blame, like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like I got mad because my ego got in the way. And then I had to step back and think about it for one. And then I talked to my wife about it, and she said, I can see why you would, but ego jumped in the way. Whenever somebody's just trying to help me. Why? Because I'm ambitious. Is ambitious a good thing? No. It could be a good thing, but whether I be ambitious or obedient, I'd rather be obedient. And I gotta understand how to move like that. So for anybody out there, ambition can be a good thing or a bad thing, I feel like. And this is what you need to hear. There's a fine line between ambitions and obedience. Ambition says, look at what I can do. Obedience says, tell me what you want me to do. Ambition prays for blessings. Obedience prays for clarity. Ambition moves fast, which we all want to. Obedience moves only when God says go. And sometimes that movement can be slow, but that's the purpose in everything. Patience. Be still. Relax. That's another thing they told me. Be still. Be still. Be still. Pump your brakes. We're all going to the same place if you got faith. And you control that. I feel like that's all I got today. So I'm going to leave you with peace, love, and the happiness. Big faith.